Amanek just doing work with that 5-7. He had his skates on, and he was just proving to be way too difficult for Vitality to handle. Nice peek from Jax to open things up here. However, that flash support coming through just works so nicely. And if you're G2, you're cheering. If you're Vitality, you've got to take a step back, got to take some stock. They're now back on the pistol, so utility advantage is also in the hands of G2. Oh, that's a decent grenade. Zywoo cops the brunt of that, and now be surprised to see G2 just back off a little bit, but they've left mid open. Kenny S has got the responsibility of watching that, and he might have actually just left the timing open here.
Ooh, but Hunter's there. Over the top now. Oh, that nade might finish. Kyojin catches it right on the face. And that's not going to leave him pretty. His Vitality can be picked apart one by one. And as I was positioned, and shox him as well here at B. Amanek standing up in the alpha position on the double stack. And Zywoo, not a lot he can do. Catches Amanek jumping, but Amanek sharp with that A1S. Bringing it back in G2 now in the lead, 2-1 here as we head into round 4.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Just a nice clinical round for them. Important to just stabilize their own economy, get themselves going in terms of momentum. But Vitality really haven't hit their stripes just yet. Another round here where they're just going to have to wait out that money bonus to hit their pockets. Stimulus package, not there yet. There's only a P250 in terms of investment. So they might actually just use this as a precursor to that gun round to see what their options are. No real speed or intent from Vitality just yet.
Yeah. Just trying to avoid all that util damage at the start of the round. 3 men swinging out mid. Hunter awkwardly has some util in hand, but he's going to clean up nicely. Him and Kenny teaming up to lock things down at mid, and it's a 40-second round to get a third on the board for G2. Going into the 5th, though. Vitality finally able to get some guns in play. Let's see which way they look to take it.
Just clean anti-ecos coming through. However, in this round, this is where Vitality start to show their hand. They're not actually going to go for that AWP either, so just going to go with that mobile setup. Having to go a little bit light on in terms of that damage utility. Now just reduced to smoke and flash. Group approach through mid. Kenny S boosted up to succeed, and he's going to fall away. He's taken a lot of damage, but he's got them a player advantage early on. So just retaining all their weaponry from previous rounds here, G2. They're in a good financial position. Oh. And shox, he's just in ever-present danger, looking to catch maybe Amanek out should he reveal himself.
Well, again, a bit of a standoff. G2 happy just to hold the man advantage. Play off some form of contact. Vitality going out mid-dry. Hunter swinging. Not falling just yet. Big damage on a Masuda, though. Just with that molly. The mid player is just going to be slowed for a moment. Amanek jiggling, spotted. But Hunter's found another. So things get dicey, and Amanek going to be locked into the back of sight, but he's hoping that Kenny makes his way in time. It's going to be a flash over the top. And Amanek falls, but Hunter finds another. And it's a 2-man advantage for G2. You can see they're happy just to play for the retake. All grouped up there. They jump up and CT. shox is looking to cover the plant. A bit of extra money in the bank. Kenny going forward. Happy to get the info low. It's up to shox now. 1-on-3 angle. Jumping up onto the top of double, but he's right in the open. Hunter spots him. Knocks him down a notch. No king of the hill here. It's going to be 4 now with a successful retake coming through from G2 and Vitality. They can't get it across the line on their first gun round.
that was just a patient retake. You could just see the CT huddle in mid. They were waiting for that bomb to go down. They wanted to isolate that 2 versus 1 situation. They waited till the bomb plant came out. They then took that duel, that 4-on-1, and then just played the numbers game. Shox couldn't really roll back to years. That may have been, you know, something in his wheelhouse. However, just so patient, G2. They make that work. Hunter just waiting to see what the move would be that Shox had to make. He had to do something. Apex on the hero AK. I don't mind this, given how well he has been in this tournament. However, the highest rated player of the tournament has been deleted.
Yeah, Vitality really finding the fuel to get going just yet here on the T side. G2, however, they are in it to win it. Looking to give Kenny a nice early Christmas present. See if Amanek, the offline here on the back of sight, works for him. He's going to be out in the open. With the jump boost, he should have the advantage. Oh, peeking up, Shoxy. Going to keep his head on his shoulders for now.
Got that extra helmet, the cone helmet. That could be powerful though. Amanek has to fall back to the girder. Playing that off angle now. Hunter's supporting him well.
Okay.
Hunter's good for 3.
Oh! Oh! Takes his head off and a second to follow. Alrighty. It ain't done just yet. NiKo up against Kyojin. He's looking for a timing, and NiKo might just find it. Crosshair trains the jiggle, gives info, but the wallbang not coming through. Shadow's there. NiKo knows he's got time on his side. Kyojin, 13 in the clip, flashing off NiKo. The Kyojin goes a little bit too aggressive, chipped away at 58 HP remaining. Util used, and Kyojin clutches a quad kill for the round and a big one to get that second on the board for Vitality.
That is an insane round from Kyojin. That is incredible. And somehow, I thought maybe, you know, G2 had done enough. That Amanek Hunter crossfire was working a treat. However, enter Kyojin with that deagle. He just pops off, decapitates Amanek, destroys Hunter, and then plays mind games here as he destroys Jax. And NiKo just opting for the utility, but Kyojin had already closed the gap. Man, that is an incredible round.
Oh, yeah. One on the back of some solid individual performance. And that's what you can expect at this level of gameplay. So many people can just pop off at any given moment. And Kyojin, well, he's at his pop-off round nice and early here. Certainly, that one's going to start to fire the boys up. You can see that they're taking it really seriously, knowing that off the back of winning those pistols, their economy's in a nice way to bite. You get that extra util on the board as well with the one round, but G2, their economy not too thin just yet. Kenny, and he popping a flash to try to get Jax on the line. And again, Vitality. They're hunting for that ramp control, but they're not too committed yet. Shoxy actually goes in through the smoke, but he's not expecting the second man, Amanek, able to make that trade come through.
HE is doing damage though. Masuta just copping the brunt of that. However, Vitality are going to aggress. They're going to play that contact, and NiKo caught off guard. Jax though stabilizes things, needs to get out of there. Quick, smart, and he will. So, G2, it is a 3 versus 3. All of Vitality grouped up on that A ramp, and they do still have plenty of time, plenty of options.
Amanek infiltrating the attackers straight in behind Kyojin, who's read this like a book. How's the timing? It's nice, but Kyojin not going to take too much damage. It doesn't get sent back the other way either, but what does get sent here is G2 all the way towards the A site. Not going to be able to connect over the top now. I'm at 30 seconds, Vitality looking to force this plant down. Kenny can't quite line it up there for the wallbang. And Amanek still slowly but surely coming in, creeping on the flank. Now, big swing. Masuda not expecting this advanced position. Amanek on the sandbags. Looking to go toe-to-toe with Zywoo. Takes him out. Kyojin, he had a big round of the previous, but it's going to be the flank there from Amanek to have every bit of impact on the retake. 4 for him. And a 5th for G2.
Just so much work to be done there by Kyojin. I mean, you can't expect that level of production out of him every round. However, what he does do is he just Manages to get that bomb plant obviously secured for Vitality. That's good news for them. They do not necessarily have the most, I guess, balanced money across the board. If you look at Zywo, he's just going to have an AWP drop to him. So they will be able to put something together, but Vitality now, they are on the back foot. If they do not take this round win, you are G2 though. You've got to be happy with the performance so far of your standing Kenny S. He's been able to find some opening picks in these rounds, and that's proven to be quite vital actually in how things have opened.
4 opening picks to be exact, so very solid impact already coming through for G2. Shoxy again, just going to be going in with that lurk smoke at the B stairs. He will back away. Not hanging around too long. Oh, over the top there. Jack's going to be spotted. Nice line found on the edge of the smoke from Apex. NiKo goes back to the same position. Wants some revenge. Jumping across and spots the extra info. Vitality. Plenty of time to play with. Plenty of util to use. In terms of flashes. Only one set of smokes to go for the full execute. And a molly there as well. Just buys some extra time for G2 to play with.
Amanek just hard on that B anchor. As they start to move back towards this B bomb site, they still have plenty of time. Oh, Masuda. That is going to surely mean that B is going to be under threat here. If Kyojin can actually get a frag or two, that's going to make this difficult. Amanek, though, will go down to B.
Yeah, he's spotted that bomb as well, which is going to trigger these rotations after Masuda finally fell. Kyojin, he went down as well. And Kenny able to stop the cross to sight now. He's sharp on that trigger, and he's going to be able to get himself another. 2 for the round. Closing things out for G2 to net a 6th in the bag. And that's a solid performance indeed. You could see Team Vitality. They were hoping that they'd be able to lay down the groundwork at 8. They were ready for that retake flash to come through, knowing that G2, from a man-down position, had to try to find info somewhere. But regardless, they just hit the shots they needed to. 2 from Kenny at the end to secure it.
This is some prime Kenny form too. I'm starting to feel as though one of these shots he's hitting, maybe rolling back the years, but G2 needs to be careful to avoid these pistols, so the utility is good for them. They're just going to be able to keep Vitality at an arm's length. They're not necessarily wanting to allow them to close the gap. Happy to let them stroll up mid, take those range firefights. Kenny's got eyes on it too. Might be subject to being overwhelmed though. They do have a smoke on shox, so could potentially look to isolate these CT crossfires, but this is barrage of utility from G2. Here we go, Hunter looking to farm.
Nice trade from shox. That'll get a rifle in the hands of Vitality with the 2-man disadvantage. And not a whole lot of map control. It's going to be very hard from here. G2 in very solid positions. Just to play retake on B. We've got that stairs control in the hands of Amanek. All of underneath there at Maze. Fully filtered out as well. And NiKo, I think he's gone silent up the ladder. So how's this timing? Oh, Shoxy spots him, goes back, and unfortunately loses his head. G2 though, they're going to be happy as Larry. 2-man peak. Great coordination for G2 to lock down a 7th. Not losing any more rifles. And as we move into the 10th, that's a 5-round lead already for G2. A great start to the series.
It's the perfect start for them, bar those 2 blips on the radar, right? And G2, even in the absence of Nexa, are looking quite good. That being said, though, this is only the CT side of Vertigo, so still some tough decisions to be made. They're looking quite solid. The fact that Kenny S is hitting some shots too is making their lives easier. As we said, in those opening duels, he's been vital for just providing so many options with a player advantage. And now NiKo is going to, or Zywo. That could have been a close call. Jax, not scheduled for a haircut.
Oh, timing. Almost favouring Amanek there, but it is going to be 2 haircuts gifted over to G2. And a chance for Vitality to net the round, but Hunt is still here and ready to fight. Man's been hitting a lot already. Smoke towards Gen. Molly to slow things down, though. Filters Vitality into the front of sight. And Hunter expecting this swing. You got Jax as well with the spam. He's just looking to stop this bomb from going down in the tees. And then, hey, look at those health bars. There's an inch on him. NiKo's found another. And just like that, G2 could definitely be in with another round.
Just no HEs to be able to deal that last bout of damage to Apex and shox. So they're just going to frag their way out now. Zywu overwatching with that AWP. So his insurance policy, shox is good for one. That's good production from him on low HP. And Zywu, the guardian of the site. That is a good round. Now for Vitality to start to curb the money situation on G2. It's not looking as healthy as it once was.
Yeah, it's definitely trending downwards right now. Emanek able to... Ooh, I thought he was going to drop a rifle across, but instead he just sends a FAMAS into the hands of Hunter. Just to get some extra util on the board. Of course, very important just to fend Vitality away here on Vertigo. It's going to be a more aggressive approach. This time, Masuta's hunting. Going to take the head straight off of Jax nice and early. NiKo hitting the sandbags. Vitality looking like they will not invest a molly here. Okay, he could be in trouble. Kenny able to take that first contact, and NiKo strikes as well. Vitality plans foiled.
shox, though, has found openings and will get onto this B bomb site. He does have to contend with Hunter, who only has the FAMAS, however. Only is not a word that is in Hunter's vocabulary. However, shox will take that bomb site. Kenny S moving across, provides that cover. Back to a 2 versus 2. A lot of ground here for these Ts to cover, but they have the bomb in tow. Wouldn't be surprised to see G2 stick together. However,
Well,
that's not going to be the case.
NiKo's heard them going for that fast rotation to B and then also pumping the brakes. Because all of a sudden they lost that control, thanks to Kenny. He's hitting everything, NiKo. That's that info he wanted. Kyojin making his way up from elbow. Sliding through at lane, and NiKo dodges the molly for a moment and should be able to stop the cross. But it's the elevator smoke. Going to isolate the line onto hell here over the top. NiKo goes, can't quite finish off things. Nade goes down, and it's a bit of chip damage, but NiKo falls as well.
NES now looking for that info. Has to try and isolate some jewels here. Smoke beyond the bomb means that his vision is going to be limited. So really, Kenny going to have to wind back the clock to some ridiculous levels. But Zywu has him booked. He's going to fall to a grisly end, and that is another round win for Vitality. So it's been a quiet half so far for some of the stars on this Vitality roster, namely Apex, highest rated player in the tournament. He's 3-9, not having the level of impact that he needs. But that being said, though, Vitality are far from out of this half, so there's still plenty of room for him to grow into this. I mean, it wasn't until it felt like the OT against Mouse that he really started to awaken in his first day. So
Yeah.
certainly a high level of production we're expecting from him in this matchup.
Oh, that's right. That was the best of one that Mouse almost won. By the way, conversation for another time as Apex looking to hunt down a couple of ecos. Doesn't want to go into any form of crossfire, so won't swing around from Scaff just yet. Kyojin looking for some mid-aggression. And Vitality starting to gravitate back towards B, knowing G2 might have that tendency to go for the stack on the pistols. So looking to find the path of least resistance.
Molotov, but nobody's there anyway. Vitality just clearing out what they can on this B bomb site. It's not really going to be anything on offer here for G2 whatsoever, so they're just going to back off. Careful though, they don't want to be giving the MAC 10s a money bonus here. Apex no doubt will be searching for more.
NiKo's got his hands off the keyboard, just cracking his knuckles, getting ready for the next. Having a chat with the boys and using it as a bit of a tactical before they move on into another gun round. The very resident sleeper round, I'm sure, for Twitch chat. But either way, intelligently navigated by Vitality to find the empty site. And was going to say not lose a player, but Apex is really putting his body on the line here. So he'll fall. The MAC-10, not really of any interest for G2 there. So happy to keep 5 alive. Keep the money out of the hands of Vitality. But it's going to be a round picked up for the T side. Going into round 13. It's guns. Acquired for G2. A4s. Okay. Interesting.
I know.
Oh,
That's not the case.
that was not the case. Okay.
Not quite. I was going to say, did the meta shift back and we didn't know? Hunter, he's just up the ante. Look at this aggression coming through. So he's overwatching it, and well, he manages to get into the corner. Sam's going to come through. However, that double push to the smoke on the back of the flash.
Okay. Explosive. It's managed to
no.
work for... Oh, only one. Okay, Vitality's going to be able to hold their ground. ZywOo seems to believe that someone else could be lurking here, and that's going to be NiKo. Straight on the corner, but he's waiting for the scaff swing. Not expecting close as well, and NiKo may need to make a move to try to get G2 back into the round. ZywOo, nice flick to find the headshot. And it's all up to Kenny, the super sub, to try to bring this one back, or at least get some damage done to Vitality's economy. Knows that ZywOo has to be on the other side of the bridge. So he could get his mitts on an AWP. But he's worried about heading forward for the moment. Regardless, it's looking like Vitality definitely have a 6th round secured. Kenny really worried about his own life. You can see Vitality's actually cleared T-spawn, so he's right as rain just to hang around here as well.
Might be able to catch ZywOo here too if he does rotate back through, but I doubt that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Oh.
ZywOo spots him. Okay, now Kenny's in a bit of a time crisis. Trying to save that weapon of his. Forget trying to pick up another weapon. Should be able to do so. As G2, well, that lead that they were able to build has started to really be chipped away at. It was 7-2. So Vitality being able to just pick up 4 rounds on the trot now. A great shot from ZywOo. I mean, when do you stop saying that, right?
I feel like this is going to be one of those neck and neck halves. 8 and 7. Unless G2 pulls something out. With the rifle saved across, it's going to be early ramp control coming through for G2. ZywOo trying to find a line over the smoke. But it's NiKo to snatch away shox, and that's a rifle retrievable. ZywOo tries to make the read, but again, all of a sudden, Vitality on the back foot.
Tuda has... Oh. Jax slaps Apex with that deagle. Now, Masuda's again just found some nice timing onto Hunter and will be under some pressure. Amanek has the off angle at 5-7. He's made his own, however, ZywOo pounces at the right moment. In this 2 versus 1, he's already found success with the plant, but ZywOo onto NiKo, and he can't win that duel with Jax though. That is going to be around that. Well, G2 pull out of the clutches of Vitality. That got a little bit messy though.
Considering G2 had minimal investment into that round, that's a huge, huge win for them. If they can make this a 9-6 affair going into the half, well, the second half could get pretty damn dicey. However, it was that very solid start. So Team Vitality definitely clawing their way back into the game and maybe even setting themselves up to take the map pick in the second half. But G2, damn, they're looking sharp at the moment. Final round of the half. Both teams fully bought up. So it's going to be a bit of a slugfest.
Exactly what we all want to. Just some of these stars going blow for blow. Early utility being expended by G2. Down towards the ramp. Apex boost is good, but NiKo's so wise to it.
Yeah, you can see they're doing a whole lot of homework coming into this one. Reading all the tendencies of Vitality and really shutting them down in this first half. The question will be, how do they fare in the second? And also, how do Vitality get back into the round, if at all? So many of those CTs to get past. Playing off one another. Just Kenny with that solo position at B. But even then, he's got those mid players nice and close to help him out. Vitality opting for the path of least resistance again. It's going to be a 3-on-2 at A for them. Molly forcing NiKo to face, who's able to take the fight here, but Jax has fallen, does the offline work with the Molly. He's now able to get a huge amount of info. Flash comes through, and that is that. 30 seconds Vitality. They're not here at A, so that leaves one option.
Yeah, the rotation is just going to be swift from G2, so they've got their work cut out for them. Smoke is just going to block the vision of Kenny S, however. Time is ticking. Vitality, they've got to make this work in 18 seconds.
Kenny holding down the line, and he's buying just enough time to make this half look sick. The collateral to close it. Kenny's back, baby. And we're going to the second half just after the break.
If you look at the year, I would say that from February to June, July, we were definitely in troubles. We didn't find the solutions to our problems, and we definitely didn't have good results. So it had been the first very tough season. Coming back after the prayer break, we changed our mentality. We changed a lot of things, and I guess it paid off. We make pretty good results overall since August. I mean, Canada's the only teams that get us out of tournaments. It's Navy, which is actually since some time now the best team in the world. So nothing to be ashamed of. So I would say since August, like we are doing pretty good. So yeah, it has been so far two really different part of the year. Like you can definitely see a difference between the first season and the second one.
So there is a bit of a pincer going on towards A. That could end in heartbreak here as shox. He's flashed off, but he somehow gets one in that situation.
Hunter gonna slam the brakes for a moment. Apex wants to go forward through that smoke, but he's just hunting for info again. And Kyojin is just looking to wrangle his way back into the round, and Amanek gonna get his head taken off from behind. Jax similarly does the same to Apex. Masuda looks to go forward. There it is. Odds even. Back to the 2-on-2. Bomb still at the bottom of A ramp, Jim, and I'm not too sure how this one's going to play out.
Kenny S is no doubt just looking to carve an opening and wait for maybe Jax to do something too. However, Kenny's worried about the positioning of someone else that's not there. So now they have control of the bomb. Jax is good to go.
Go where? That's the question. He knows the bomb's over towards A here. But he's thinking it could be that big wrap at B through Maze. Kyojin comes and Jax is going to light him up and take him down by the head. It's a one-on-one now, and Masuda here at elbow just trying to find the line. Oh, can't connect. He's got that P250 in hand. Just looking to put his position perfectly. He's got the bomb in sight, and Jax running low on time. Masuda happy just to hold here at elbow.
Oh. He's got to plant, or he's got to commit to that fake, but it will go down. So the money is coming through for Jackson now. He's forced that 1-versus-1 with Masuda. Masuda's nice and close, but that's not where you want to be with the Glock. That is Jax winning the round. That is a tense pistol going the way of Vitality, and they certainly hard-earned that.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know which way that one was going to fall, but G2 Off on the right foot in the second half, and when they do that, you better believe it's going to be so hard for Vitality to scrape their way back in. But that being said, these second round forces have been devastating for so many teams here in IEM Winter. It looks like Vitality, they're going to make that call a little late though, so we'll see if that plays a factor, getting out of spawn slowly.
Jack's taking 4 in that pistol round. That's huge. But they did make that late call to buy, so going to try and see whether or not they can probe through that smoke on A ramp, do some damage, but NiKo's just going to take the opportunity to progress up scaffolding after the utility comes through.
Things slowed down yet again. G2 going to put these SMGs in winning positions. NiKo happy to be the point man at the moment. Clear out every single angle. All these close crannies and nooks. Flash across. Or smoke, rather. That's going to give Vitality some space to play with. They're starting to hedge their bets and send the numbers here as well, bringing that MP9 across in the hands of shox. Masuda still with a flash to send the boys forward, and there's going to be the boost up late. It's better late than never. Let's see if the line works out. Up on the sandbags, but Zywoo doesn't spot the boost.
Oh, they break it at the worst possible moment. Apex though. Oh, Zywoo's good here. He's just planted himself, deployed as a turret. They've got to break their way in here, Mac. Oh, this is falling apart here for Vitality. They still haven't got the bomb plant down. They want to try and bait out as many fights as possible.
It's looking pretty damn good right now for G2. Kyojin's position known. A man's going to do a 360 into the wall. As G2 bag themselves another 11 secured. And that's a solid start to the second half for Team Vitality. Not going to be buying up too much this round. Just looking to get those M4s cranking into the next. Work up that utility. And you got Zywoo as well with plenty of cash in the bank to get that AWP in play at around 19. Let's see what they can do with just a couple of deagles brought into the round for round 18.
Never count them out. Certainly not with pistols, as NiKo and Zywoo go head to head. At Mac 10 coming away victorious, and now NiKo's just going to continue to progress up. He does eliminate Apex, so here we go. They're already on this A bomb site. They're just going to stream on in. shox is going to take out Hunter, who is at the complete opposite end of the map. They might be able to take this Lil, however, he's been denied.
Yeah, it's
G2.
just crushing aggression coming through from G2. Was it Amanek? Bloody straight up all the way to site. Vitality had absolutely no idea that he'd aggressed so far forward. But this is where the second half begins, Jim. It's gun time.
My favourite time. Gun round. No AWP coming out here for Vitality, so as far as they're concerned, just rifles and utility prioritised. They do still retain the bonus round approach here. Amanek on that Mac 10. That's a great Molotov. Apex has to do the hot shoe shuffle, has to get out of position, but progression from G2 to take control of A ramp.
NiKo spotting the head of Zywoo there, but of course he's got too much cover to get past. Zywoo holds down the fort. They set that extra molly as well, which I think has missed the mark. It has. It's bounced off the front now. So not fully cleared. Numbers are there for Vitality to try to get this round across the line. Let's see how G2 work their way back in.
Flash there. Cleared by Zywoo. Just a soft clearance though. G2 regroup here. Looking. Pop on into this bomb site. That's a good smoke just to clear that out. Amanek though, you get this suspicion. He has the urge to go through.
And Apex. The back of the flash before back to site. Amanek not going to be able to thread the needle through the smoke. Timing play does not work for him. Hunter going to be able to isolate a couple of fights. He's going to find 2 quick ones with 3 more to get past. So 1v5 angles there, but with 10 HP. It's a huge ask for anyone. He's doubled back over towards elbow here. Masuda looking in the right direction, but he's turned around. And Hunter, like a thief in the night, but with 10 seconds to plant, he has to commit to A. Kyojin, the tight line. Hunter reads it. But Vitality, they know that Hunter's got a plan if he wants to win it. It's the swing. He's going to find another, but the trade from shox will secure one here in the second half for Vitality. But that got extremely dicey for them.
They got extremely dicey and they win, but at what cost? Look at the money for Vitality. It's pretty much dumpstered for a few of these players. There's no utility to come through. Like going down to Famises. I don't know about that. But they just don't want to let G2 get away with this. The same applies, right? Like they could do the same to G2. They could break their money back. So this is a pretty important round for both Vitality and G2.
Yeah.
Because they can get that power of economy flowing in their favor. Big information coming through from that push, though. Suda, he's gone on an exploratory mission.
Ooh, and there's no T's here watching this unders push. Just deciding which route to take. It looks like he's going to send it to B. I don't think he saw that bomb, but now we are going to see the ladder push come through too. So now there's two CTs in behind the T's, and it's Jackson Hunter to fall. Kenny S goes down, and that's perfectly played from Masuda and Apex. A beautiful round to start to work up that economy. Vitality sliding 8 up onto the scoreboard.
Well, they risked it for the biscuit, right? They pushed. They made all of the risky plays on that CT site. There was no need to. They were in a position where their own economy was certainly not secured heading into future rounds, but this is the carrot being entangled in front of them. They had the opportunity to break back that G2 economy. They've been able to do so, and that is that risk versus reward factor.
It's going to be a huge little buff to the economy, to the confidence rather, for Vitality, as well as that economy. Of course, they've got a couple of upgrades to the AKs as well to bring into the next. A few of them only had Famises going into the previous. And G2, back at square one. They're not even going to be able to buy too many pistols, if anything. So let's try to stroll through the round. Of course, they are still in that 4-round lead, which is probably going to become 3. We'll see how this round plays out, because a couple of Deagles in the mix.
Waiting out all the peppering, all the utility on that A ramp. Smokes will fade. You always get that feeling the utility's going to follow. There it is. It's going to be pushed back out of position here for G2. And Apex has already taken control. He might be able to find one through the smoke. So, essentially, Vitality are bullying G2 out of position towards the A ramp. Boost up onto this box will be a pretty hard angle to remove.
Or even read. By the way, solid util set from Vitality to take that forklift control. Yeah, because thinking someone's hiding in the corner. Not going to be able to connect to anyone because there's no one there to hit. And it's up the ladder they go. G2 looking to send it straight down mid, but Vitality, they've already got the two-pronged approach. Masuda ready to swing off his Iwu's contact. We'll see how the old bait and switch goes here.
Drawn into a spray. Oh, Zywoo is only good for 1, so they're going to overrun through mid. They do have consolidation, double stack on the bomb site, but A is wide and open for the taking. Amanak sticks around just to be that thorn in the side of the rotation. Apex is not going to be able to prevent the bomb plant, however, he will cap Hunter.
And he might have just saved the round with that little maneuver. And pushing forward as well, just trying to figure out where both these T's are. He knows that one has to be over towards Hell here, and he's getting in right behind both the T's around where G2 fought so hard for. And Apex plays spoiler. The 4K up against the pistols or rifles or whatever the bloody had at the end. But it is going to be another, and G2 won't drag out that lead. But they did a whole lot of financial damage there to the CTs. And that's going to aid G2 in the long game. Apex
has been quite quiet in the various stages of this game. That is probably one of the rounds where he's had the biggest impact. Crucial for them. They've been able to pull that back out of the fire. It certainly felt as though G2 were just going to run away with that. They had the power of position. They had weaponry in their hands. However, they just didn't account for that flank coming through from Apex. So he steadies the ship for them. However, they do still have to contend with the gun round that G2 have been able to muster.
Kyojin striking early. as is Masuda, and things going right again. Early on for Vitality. Of course, you can never count out G2. Maybe you can count out NiKo here, who still managed to take one regardless. ZywOo trying to play it sneaky. But off the back of that now, it's going to be so hard for Amanek and Jax to work their way back in, but they're going to try to do it together. Shoulder to shoulder. And shox just up here on the stairs. Almost wins it himself, but it's the trade. The 1-on-4 angle for Jax now. Molly misses the mark, but the shot does not, man. Feeds it through the top of the stairs, and with a minute remaining, going to throw some more util to try and deny some info. But Masuda staying proactive as the flash coming through from ZywOo. Now Jax is fully aware that they've hunted for that info, so he's just going to make noise going to A instead. See if he can try to maybe isolate a fight with ZywOo, or at least get the plant money, because that'll be huge going forward. Molly buys some extra time though. It's going to utilize at the right moment. Masuda swinging to get the double digits in the bag for Vitality.
Another big round for Vitality, playing that 2 versus 1 so superbly. I knew where the Molotov came from, but Masuda just taking aggro. Not hesitating, getting straight into action. That was a good round, though. That mid presence was key. Set them up for the final battle. So we do now have G2 just reduced to pistols, so going to try and take territory early on. Utility is just going to prevent them. However, Jax wants that fight.
Oh, and he's going to lose it. ZywOo close range has the helping hand of the rest of the boys here. Towards the A site, Kenny gets dunked on by that HG. And opts not to go forward. It's NiKo looking to take point instead with the Deagle. A couple of crisp ones might just do it. Maybe a bit of action at mid as well, but NiKo, man's a Deagling genius. 2 quick ones, but not the third. And he keeps G2 in the round.
This is that kind of star potential that you're looking for in this matchup. So they're going to regroup back towards mid here. shox is going to try and isolate one. Jewel, the spray control's good. He does manage to get away, so it's all on Hunter. Does have a Deagle to his name. It's been good with it. But Vitality have reconsolidated their positions. shox doesn't want that duel. He's on 10 HP. Stiff Breeze will take him over.
Smoke for him to try to work around. But shox similarly was to try to play the shadows on just 10 HP. Pushing forward, there it is. Shadow spotted, and shox will land the final blow. 11 in the bag for Vitality, who are really starting to pick up the pace here in the second half.
This is the kind of impact that you're always looking for out of NiKo.
Oh.
And you can't tell me Apex never plays with heart. Probably plays with too much heart, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he's the kind of player that they need activated in this matchup. As I said, he has been a little bit quiet compared to the rating would suggest. He's the #1 rated player in the comp. But look at this, Masuda, so aggressive on that CT side. The flash support is good. At least when he's not in the fragging department, Apex is supporting with that flash. So now G2 have to go back to the drawing board. Group back up on this A ramp. That's the only real prospect they have at the moment.
Well, I'm interested to see what they actually drew on the board, Jim. But I'm also keen to see what NiKo can do with this AK in hand. Silently dropping. After clearing all those close angles. Thorough approach. Apex is coming in. With a little bit of util, looking to clear out Dig, and he's going to lose his head. It's just ZywOo here to hold, but the man's looking to stay passive. Have I spoken too soon? 50 seconds. And G2 very close to equalizing the numbers advantage.
Waiting for those Molotovs to draw out the CTs. Push them back. That allows Hunter that passage through. Has to try and isolate this fight now with ZywOo. ZywOo just playing anti-flash. That is good. Keeps control of the site. However, NiKo's still up, so kill ZywOo. Like the final boss battle that you were expecting. However, they do maintain control here. 18 seconds left. There's not a lot now. That can be done by G2. NiKo, he's going to have to jump on Zywoo, however.
Messy.
Very messy.
And he missed the bomb on the cross. He's ran out of time. But at the same time, Masuda survived. And that is what matters. Round by round, Vitality have managed to bring it back to even. 12 rounds for both G2 and Vitality here on map number 1 of the series. And NiKo has been trying so damn hard to make this work. But the man just missing out on those final couple of opportunities. But he's bringing his A game, which is exactly what you need coming into the upper bracket final.
What we need is more Apex. So, timeout will come through. Time to talk this one out. This seesaw battle between these two teams continues to explode, and as we've alluded to so many times, there is just that catalyst for anything to happen in these rounds. And I think from a Vitality perspective, they're going to be they're going to be buoyed by the fact that they've been able to just chip away at that lead G2 have had. G2, though, on the other hand, on a bit of a downer right now, as they're now forced to just go on to this hero buy for the AKs.
Yeah, but it's in the hands of the people that you would want those AKs. Okay, Amanek slides his way to the short side, and I don't think Kyojin spotted it, but he's happy to hold here. Just at the back of the stairs. It's all down to the timing. It looks like he's favored. Lines up the headshot. Gonna fall off the edge, but survive. Stays on the concrete.
Tense moments.
And Kenny looking to stop this exit from happening, but he's got that bomb, and if that one goes down, then it's awkward. There it is in the hands of the CTs. Now Kyojin fighting off all those little pistol-y boys. And it's NiKo, who's got a 1v4, and with how he's playing, you'd back him, except he's only got 15 HP, so it's a very rough position for him to be in.
Way too squishy to make this one happen. However, could look to do some damage, but more than likely he's just going to try and save it out here. Vitality, they want to make sure that they've got money to keep going in through these rounds, so they're not necessarily going to chase. Certainly not going to have the payday that they want if they do so. So all in all, relatively good round for Vitality, given that they survived the hero AK buy, just the support coming through from the Tech 9s. And I mean, they only take the single loss in Masuda.
I'd honestly call that a beautiful round, considering some of these other pistol rounds G2 have played. They've ended up with Vitality with absolutely nothing in the end. NiKo playing it to the last couple of seconds, trying to hide in the corner, and he'll fall after time. So G2 in a slightly rougher position than expected going into round 26.
That is rough indeed. You wait the entire round, you wait out at those tense few moments after the bomb, try and save that weapon out, but in the end he just gets Goomba stomped.
What's the answer here?
He's back on the
G2 to try to stop this flurry of rounds from Vitality. That ain't it, Chief. Shox says to Hunter.
Tried to change the tempo. They've been absolutely punished for it. Hunter and NiKo both go down, so Hunter didn't have a lot of support. He tried to take the fight towards beat. And, well, Kyojin, Jax.
How's this one gonna go?
Shoulder to shoulder.
Oh, and Kyojin holds it down. Almost another as well. Big damage on a Jax now, but it at least is going to be a trade. Jax tries to go forward, but Shox on that AWP is going to be able to lock down the fort. And Masuda bags another. Vitality have been putting down the numbers. What's that? 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds in a row now?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Ah, it did happen. I was waiting for it.
It did. It went that way. That's exactly how I thought it would pan out too. But it has been a good run of rounds from Vitality, right? This is their map pick. They're far stronger on the CT side, and they're starting to prove it. So back to the drawing board here for G2. They're just going to try and make the pistols work. The utility exchange on the A ramp. They're going to advance through it.
A whole lot of damage coming through now. ZywOo locking down 2 of these pistols as they are going to try to smash their way up. Scav Kenny not going to be able to connect too much on
Okay.
Apex. It's going to be Jax to finish him off. And in come G2. All of a sudden, the Vitality defense on A just out of the equation.
Like a G6, less like a G2, I'll tell you that. They've flown into this A bomb site with those Tech 9 strapped. And, well, Kyojin and shox have to combine here. They do have some utility to spare. Both have kits, so let's just see how they try and isolate the jewels here. Smoke. Zone out Kenny. They have to reposition now.
Oh, tap. Coming through with Kyojin, looking to wrangle it on the first attempt. There's cover, but there's... Oh, death comes through in time. Hunter and Jax finally finding a 13th for G2. It got scary. There was about half a second in it before Kyojin went down. But it's another round on the board for G2. And a stop to the absolute rampage Vitality we're on.
I thought they were going to be absolutely obliterated there at the top mid. However, the gap had been closed. Those Tech 9s, the pistols, they get up in your face. They do the damage, and they were overrun there. There's nothing they could do in that situation. Smoke, though, caused them to reposition all the way back toward the A ramp in the retake situation. However, that is going to be another close round. And, well, eyes coming through here. So, just ask the question. Can't see what's on the ground for the CT side, but they're going to get a healthy buyout. So this one's going to run right down to the end here, Mac. Big round for Vitality, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, whole lot of util spent for G2 very early on. They're not going to get that ramp control off the back. NiKo boosted over the top, though, and that's going to be an entry they were hoping for. Nade to follow up as well. Just barely able to do any damage. It's gone to the wrong side of the box.
Apex just doing work. As we said, he'd been quiet in the start of the game, but found some form. Oh, that's a good grouped up contact play towards B. Still some work to do, so they're just going to stream flashes on. Suter, shox, they're both going to be flashed momentarily, but shox couldn't find the third. The trades are good, so it's now 2 versus 1 for Apex. That could be a difference maker. That Molotov just back Samanek. He somehow makes it out.
How is he alive, Jim? And it's going to be the 2-man swing to lock things through. 14 apiece. A hard-fought round. And I thought Apex would have been in that one to win it in the 1-on-2, but the man just couldn't get a bullet to connect. So unfortunate for him. And we're going all the way to 30 regardless.
Amanek, it must have just been mind over matter. Has he walked on hot coals before? Like, I don't know how he gets out of that situation, but he does, and just this peak. Oh, Apex. Ridiculous. So, again, this game just continues to seesaw. It's exactly what we expected. This is a brawl, but there are some high-pressure situations. Tactical timeout coming for G2 to discuss what their options are.
Yeah. It's a good position to be in for them. Finally starting to get a few more rounds on the board. Stopping that streak of 8 in a row. Vitality managed to secure. But it's all down to these final 2 rounds of regulation. 16 to 14 or 15 to 15, the only options now. G2 has to approach now, looking to make this one happen. shox is going to connect with that. Kenny, the victim.
Molotov is going to be extinguished here. ZywOo just playing this aggressive line. The smoke's fade, and he may be in trouble. There is just some presence shown towards the B-bomb site by G2. They want this buy-in from Vitality. I'm going to shuffle that utility around, but I mean, 2 pistol players playing off each other. It's not looking promising unless Masuta can make this work. We've seen Kyojin go huge with the Deagle before, but he's only got USP. They both base.
Okay. And Kyojin gonna be able to make the trade come through, but the GT forced the fact. It's a, headshot for Apex falling, so not too terrible. NiKo just checking out Hunter on the flank. Something's gone wrong. So it looks like it might be NiKo in a 1-on-3 here. We'll just see as things pan out. NiKo's got to keep on fighting for this round. Flash over the top now. Hoping that the CT swing off of this one. Zywoo. The default's coordinated. It's looking good. It's going to get the bink through, but NiKo still able to fight on 24 HP. It's this 1-on-1. Zywoo going to hold the cross now. Or Zywoo and shox, rather. Trying to make this one work. NiKo. Plant down, taps it, swing through. Zywoo locks down a 15th for Vitality. And it's going to send them back into the lead. We're going into a tech pause.
Okay. Something's happened to Hunter at the worst possible moment. You would have thought that could have been a round that surely goes their way, but oh no. It's not what they wanted. They are going to have some mismatch money for Jax. I'm not sure where Hunter's going to land after either. So, we expect a round reset to come through. The AWP retained onto shox. He's been doing quite some handy work with it. Apex is keeping his palms warm. But has been, as we said, compared to the stats and his competition stats overall, it's been quite quiet, Apex. And, well, this is a time here for Vitality where they have done the bulk of the dirty work, right? They've got themselves back into prime position.
Yeah.
Going all the way, Mac. And this is potential for them to be able to take their map pick, most importantly.
Well, an awkward situation to be in for both of the teams here, trying to keep themselves warmed up to go into the final round of regulation. Vitality. 15 on the board. Just with those pistols. An unfortunate situation for G2 to be in, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how the situation ends up. For now, though, you can see just how close this game has been, and it's only map 1. We've got at least one more map of games to go through before the final series of the day. But both these teams are just looking to solidify that second position. If G2 come into this with the super sub and get the dub, well, Vitality probably going to be kicking themselves.
Been impressed with the level of production out of Kenny S, to be honest. I mean, you know he's a quality player, but with being out of the game for a little while, it's amazing how much you can fall behind in terms of the pace of the game. Certainly at the top level. Again, match fitness is something that comes into effect. However, he's been able to keep juicing so much quality for G2. He's been able to keep them in quite a few rounds, and we saw in the first half he was able to just find those opening picks. He was so instrumental for them in those early gun rounds that I think it's safe to say that you probably couldn't expect too much more from him. Even in some of those clutch situations, he started to roll back the years. Some of those shots. I mean, those were the kind of shots you come to expect from Kenny S. AWPing. They're proving he's still got it, but against this Vitality roster, it's always going to be a tough ask. As we said, this is the contenders battle. This was the battle for who was number 2.
Well, I think we're going to quickly check in with the A stream while we're waiting here to see what's going on over on the other side of the river, hey? So Liquid and Nip going head-to-head. They're on map 1 as well. Still in that first half with Nip up by 3 rounds, it seems. So pretty solid start from them. Liquid, of course, have been turning a lot of heads over the last couple of days with everything that's been going on. And of course, if we have a quick chat about what happened before in their first game, Gambit ended up edging out FaZe 2-1. So really made that series go all the way. Liquid, you guys got to check in with them yesterday, right, in that Astralis upset. So what were your thoughts on that one? And how are Team Liquid looking?
16-1 on Nuke. I think that's all that needs to be said. It was just a huge performance from Liquid all round. And as far as Astralis is concerned, they said it themselves in terms of the roles that they were playing. It is still at this point in time an experiment as to who is picking up what. We only saw Glaive pick up the AWP. I can only count 2 occasions where he picked up that AWP on Mirage. The Nuke was just an absolute obliteration. He didn't even get a chance. 16-1 to score. It's the first time Liquid had been able to take that map victory in that matchup in what feels like forever.
Yeah.
Something in the order of like 2 years since that had been the case. So
I think it was over 2 years. I was having a look around. I think it was like 856 days or some crazy ridiculous amount of days like that.
Like
so
2017.
Yeah. A while. A long time. Kind of like this tech pause, unfortunately, has been dragging out a little bit. I know you guys in chat really want to see the game. You think I don't? Huh? What do you think I'm here for? I'm here to cast. I'm here to watch Counter-Strike. I'm here to bring you the action with my boy Jim.
Can you just keep on the stream?
I could. I've got a button around here somewhere. I've got a whole lot of buttons around here. I just don't know which one is the actual one to press to get us back in a game, Jim. So we're just going to have to wait until my little old pea-brain finds it. Unfortunately, that's not right now. So for now, we get to watch what's going on the A stream, which I enjoy because, of course, that is a high-stakes game. Nip and Team Liquid, both of which could be knocked out of the competition here, one of which is going to be able to make it to that playoff stage, and the other one going home.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's on the line for them in terms of this stage of the competition. And, well, I mean, Team Liquid, as we saw, they're playing like a team released. But, yeah, I think it's safe to say that, I mean, there's so much happening at IEM Winter. There's been so many upsets. We've had some big teams fall into lower bracket situations where they've just been knocked out.
Yeah.
Case in point with Astralis. Case in point, too, with Heroic, a team that had a lot of success in 2021. And they go out in the early stages. So, yeah, Astralis equal their worst ever result at an IEM. And Heroic certainly fall well below expectations for them. And that's the kind of competition IEM Winter throws up.
Yeah, it's extremely interesting when you look at it, especially in hindsight with, as you mentioned, the upsets. But then you got to talk about the success stories as well, like Godsent still in that upper bracket after, not a lot of people rated them coming into IEM Winter. They did coming on a high note. And then you have Lato. I think in that best of 1 we managed to watch. It might have been the best of 3. I can't remember which one it was, but the man dropped like 30 in one of his first LAN games in a while. Of course, they did get to play at the major, but, is the LAN setup at the major was kind of a bit all over the place. So it's more of everyone in the one spot now. So that's kind of back where you want LANs to be, which is good. And speaking of people and where they need to be, I did just hear that our boy Hunter is back in the server. So hopefully it shouldn't be too long before we do get underway with the final round of regulation. We still could be going to overtime. This map could be dragged out even longer. But it was a very, very fun affair for the 29 rounds we did get to watch. NiKo definitely firing up. Man's on fire. Kenny S. I feel like he's been a little bit more quiet in the second half, but on the CT side, man was just popping off. Every time he got the AWP in hand, he still got it.
Absolutely. I think it's safe to say, too, that he is one of those players that, form is temporary, class is permanent. And he's showing that is certainly the case. He's been able to just pull them out of so many situations. And more importantly, been able to open up for them, as we said, on that CT side. So now that they're in a bit of a sticky situation as they head into these final rounds, they're going to rely on him. Going to rely on him a little bit more, given that it was 15-14. The round there was lost. Hunter unfortunately crashed in a crucial 2 versus 2. And that is not what you want if you are G2. For a lot of the match, you've been in that commanding position. It was Vitality that ground their way back on the CT side. And no doubt frustrating for them. That's the way the cookie crumbles, though, and that's what we expect from this contender matchup, right? Like, as we said, these two teams are vying for the #2 position in the world, and with some question marks maybe over what is happening with some of these rosters,
Yeah.
it's, it does feel like some of these teams are making changes to try and beat Na'Vi rather than just solely focusing maybe on their own improvement. But that is an interesting prospect nonetheless, because, yeah, one of these two teams could really do the world of good to secure that #2 spot. Are you working on the game, Mac?
Yeah, I'm
And get it
just
started.
typing to the server. There's a lot going on, and I'm learning how to code as we're kind of going through the paces here. So, guys, it shouldn't be too long. It really shouldn't be too long. It's all right. So, we'll see. We'll see if the game is going to go live or if Hunter's still running into a couple of issues there. Either way, it's going to be a fun time. Now, of course, I'm going to leave you guys on a high note. I'm going to leave you with a quiz, and it's what's Jim's middle name? Hey? Jim, do you know what your middle name is?
No, I don't. I want the
don't.
chat. I want the chat to tell me what my middle name is.
Okay, well, chat will figure out your middle name. Chat can try to make a middle name for me. Who bloody knows? And after the break, you guys can not only find out the answer, but hopefully we'll get that 30th round. Either way, it's time for a break, ladies and gents. We'll see you with round 30 after it.
Talking about the French scene overall, I think what we are lacking the most is definitely big structure, big organization that still want to keep the CS French dream, I would say. Nowadays, because of the esports is doing like more huge, and CS is a big part of that, I would say. A lot of structure, like just want to, and I mean, it actually makes sense because when you're gonna be European, international, or whatever, you're gonna have more viewership, more sponsor. So it's becoming a lot more business to business, and it's sad, but yeah, I believe like we're gonna lose more and more the patriot side from each country, except like some organization like really keep fighting for it. In the French scene at the moment, we will have DLC who are still there, and hopefully they can manage to keep pushing and keep the French CS dream alive.
kind of game right now where Nip, they might just run through A anyway and go, yeah, we'll fight him. Yeah, he's A, that's fine. Or at least, worst case, you just wait for Hampus. Let him get behind. Maybe a knife kill. How trolly are you feeling? That's what Hampus is saying. Guys, wait, I've got him.
I don't think they're going to wait.
No, not really.
I don't think they're going to wait at all, mate. Look at this.
I kill.
They all want it. They all want a piece of Stewie 2K. He'll gladly dish it out. And there's Device to take him down.
Sick force.
Wonderful little investment. And I love the noises, man. You got to love it. It's like having a really happy Mario on your team. Played by Chris Pratt, of course.
Oh, cool. Everyone's favorite Italian. That's a real awkward round for Liquid, though, right? They just get mauled in middle. Compare the middle take to like the first half, where NIP would never die mid. They would never give anything over there. Safer back a triple, watching Con or Ticket. Devices AWPing cat passive. They would never give Liquid the way in for a round. Well, we had the inverse there. NIP throw guns into middle, and Liquid meet them right there. Rez 25 and 6. Like said, that game via Astralis, 26 and 9. So he's already on track to beat it. Just needs to make sure he doesn't die too much. Top con smoke, you got to choose which side you want to play. Grim will leave. That gives Nip the room in middle.
See.
Oh, there's a gap. He saw him.
Oh, that is all. Oh, Grim, okay.
Nice cheat.
All right, bro. Yeah, sure thing, bud. Sure thing. He's going back in for more with the Deagle. Yeah, they'll finally rid the world of Grimothy.
I haven't got it yet. I think Bob was close, right?
Within a few letters.
Someone guessed for Obama, but I don't. That's not your middle name, is it?
It isn't.
It's not. Okay, well, that's pretty fortunate. It's not mine either, so you're all wrong. I think someone might have said mine, which you guys can know. It's Thomas. Congratulations. I'm sure you're all bloody overwhelmed with that information. Now, you can see they're almost ready. A little birdie in my ear told me there was just a slight hiccup, so game's not starting just yet, but it should not be too far away. It was great to hear Harry and Hugo's voices, though, listening to the A stream while we were just max chilling there. They're having a great time over in that Nip and Liquid game. Of course, they're into the second half now. But we're still ahead of them for the moment. Here on Vertigo.
When you got to... it feels as though there's still so much to go in this match, but the reality is it could just be one round. It could be multiple OTs here if G2 managed to bring this back into OT. You can't forget that they were up by a sizable margin in this matchup. So it has been a hard-fought comeback by Vitality. As soon as they switched onto that CT side, they were far better, Vitality. And, I mean, that's not surprising too, given the pick of this map. Bulk of their rounds actually coming on the T side, funnily enough, in the historical sense, but definitely more comfortable on this map. More so than G2. G2 really don't have an impressive record. Really don't play it too often either.
No. But when they do, it is a relatively T-sided affair, which is why you might be thinking that they could definitely take this to overtime and keep it bloody even. Last W they got on Vertigo was, of course, up against Liquid, and that was in this tournament a couple of days ago now. So... not a terrible showing, 16-13, and Liquid's been in pretty red-hot form. But of course, 33%, that's 1 in 3 maps won. 78 for Vitality. Then you jump onto map number 2, which is going to be Mirage. Both teams above a 70% win rate, which is ridiculously crazy. A whole lot of reps from both sides, too, which is something you might not see too often, especially in the second map chosen for the series. But that being said, both these teams, all these players are here to win. They've all had a pop-off round or two. So no one really lagging behind. Everyone doing their job. And that's exactly why it's 14-15 currently.
You look at the next 2 maps in this series, right? Those 2 are pretty much down the line in terms of statistics. only slightly skewing in favour of G2. But got to remember, they're playing with Kenny S. Standard. Hasn't actually played at the top level in a little bit. So don't get me wrong, he's doing a great job. But it is pretty clear that a few things here are changing in terms of the direction of the team. So I guess we will see how we go with this, as I do believe they're just getting money sorted there. Match
Okay.
medic. They've called the
like-
ambulance.
They've called a tactical as well for Vitality. Of course, in those tech pauses, you're not supposed to talk about the game, so you take this extra 30 seconds or so. Just have a quick chat, refresh your memories on where you're at. You've got the coach there talking as well, and of course, they can't give you their feedback until these tacticals are called. So that's exactly why they're doing it. Fist bumps all round Jim. It looks like we're about to finally get back into the game. He's adjusting his ears. Oh,
Yeah,
I was worried,
that's
but it's
us.
back on. Boys, it's back on. All right. It's looking good. Round 30. Just around the corner.
Glad you've been able to get in there, Mac, and restart the server. Might be time for finally casters to stop talk, start game.
Oh, there it is. I found the button, Jim. Ready? Bam. Pressed. Into it we go.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Here we go. 30th round for this match. Vitality, hard fought comeback from them on the City side. But look at the pace coming out from G2.
Oh, my Lord. Just not giving Vitality a second to think now, as NiKo's had to bloody enough of this one. It's Apex to find the trade in through the smoke. It's explosive. And Hunter as well is looking for something here at mid. Shoxy able to connect onto Jax, but he'll survive on 22. But as this is all happening, still that man advantage. Kyojin covering all his bases. Isolating the fight, and now it's up to Kenny to try to keep the dream alive. On the line, it's Masuda, and it's all that for a 16th for Vitality. Map number 1 is going to be going in the bag, and we're going to go to a short break before we break this one down for you afterwards.